42-year-old. Mr. X presented with complaints of altered sensory one day, decreased food intake and nausea since one day. Patient who was apparently alright except deafness presented with complaints of altered sensorium for 1 day. It was insidious in onset. Patient was admitted for evaluation. COVID test was done as protocol. Was positive and admitted in COVID ward.
So, a 42-year-old person
Yes, sir.
is coming with the altered sensorium insidious onset.
Insidious.
So, what are the possibilities that comes to your mind?
42-year-old insidious onset altered sensorium. So we should think of metabolic disturbances
Like
electrolyte like hyponatremia or anything.
yeah, that's right, hypoglycemia,
Hyponatremia, hypoglycemia, but hypoglycemia 42-year-old no comorbidity is unlikely, sir. Like if it's a diabetic or no OHS, we should definitely consider hypoglycemia. Then hyponatremia we should consider, sir. Then like known DCLD means like something like hepatic encephalopathy, hyperammonemia also we should think of.
Okay. Hypoxia,
hypoxia. Yes, sir, definitely. COVID, hypoxia, hypercarbia.
Do you suspected toxins or
What, sir?
Toxins, overdose?
Yes, sir. Drug overdose also we should think of.
And then she was incidentally found to be having COVID positivity.
COVID means hypoxia related altered sensorium we can think of, sir.
No, it was positive, no?
Yes.
It was positive. Okay.
Positive.
Now,
yes, sir.
Let us come with the decreased food intake and nausea. So, would like to put something else in the perspective?
Decreased food intake and nausea.
Can be starvation, ketoacidosis?
Possibility, sir.
Possibilities there. Possibilities.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
How come CNS is affected by COVID? How does CNS is affected by COVID? What's the mechanism?
CNS affected by COVID. Sir, COVID can cause strokes. Acute stroke can happen.
That's good. That's good. So there are two categories of people. One with the traditional risk factors who can have stroke, and those who do not have risk factors, but still COVID-related risk may be there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. COVID is also known to produce direct cytopathic effect.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is one possibility, and it can produce immunological reactions also. Immune reaction can occur.
Yes, sir.
Hypoxia is what mechanism, as you all rightly said.
Yes, sir.
And there could be vascular occlusions, no?
Vascular occlusions, yes, sir. Hypocoagulation. Yes, sir.
So, COVID utilizes ACE2, no? Receptor.
Yes, sir. It binds to ACE2. Sir.
What is the role of ACE2 in human body?
Sir, what is the role of ACE2, sir?
Normal person, what does it do? It's a vasoprotective, anti-proliferative.
Okay, sir.
Molecule, no?
So, yes, sir. Yes.
So, that protection is taken off in COVID.
Okay, sir.
Now, COVID is a pro-inflammatory state.
Yes, sir.
It can be a thrombophilic state as well.
Yes, sir.
It activates a complement.
Yes, sir.
So that can produce microvascular injury. And added to that, as you rightly said, stroke.
Yes, sir.
Factors without risk factors is also possible.
Okay, sir. Past history, bilateral deafness since birth, and known case of hypothyroidism since 2000, and has bipolar disorder since 2009, on lithium since 2009.
No. How can, what are the causes that precipitates myxedema coma? What are the precipitating factors?
If the patient is not compliant with the medication, sir.
That's right.
That is a possibility, uncontrolled, and
there are ever so many patients who are not compliant, but they don't suffer coma.
Okay. Any stress?
Myocardial infarction,
Okay, sir.
climate, winter,
Hmm.
surgery, and sedative drugs. They all add up together to produce hypothyroid coma. How does
Okay, sir.
hypothyroid coma manifest?
Hypothyroid coma, sir.
Eczema coma, yes.
Just 20.
They come with altered sensorium in series onset.
Okay,
And
sir.
if you record temperature will be below 35, hypothermia,
Hypothermia will be there.
there will be marked bradycardia, hypotension, hyponatremia,
Yes, sir.
hypoglycemia, and possibly hypoventilation.
Hypoventilation. Okay.
Hypothyroid patient, we always consider myxedema coma as a possibility, but this
Hmm.
patient was not looking like that. Okay, and these
Yes,
are
sir.
bipolar disorder,
Hmm.
so and you are well controlled with the lithium on.
Yes, sir. Family history, no psychiatric illness in the family.
Why should you ask familial history of psychiatric illness?
Like some psychiatric illness run in the family, like
Can you give an
schizophrenia,
example?
and they can be on the drugs which can cause the altered sensorium.
So which psychiatric disorder runs in family?
Schizophrenia, sir.
No, classically bipolar disorder,
Bipolar. Okay.
manic depressive psychosis, no.
Yes, sir. Personal history is hepatitis reduced. On examination, there are signs of dehydration, BP 90/60, pulse rate 120 beats per minute, respiratory rate 20 per minute. GCS, it's low E1 M4, that is 6/15. Systemic examination was within normal limits.
So what are the conditions where you get dehydration with the low BP, tachycardia, or
Uh,
combination?
First, we should think of any volume loss, sir, hypovolemia,
Very good, very good. Like
like AG, vomitings, loose stools, then any like major surgeries, blood loss.
that's very nice. That's very nice. Diarrhea, volume loss is very good thinking. Okay.
So,
So you have investigated. What investigations you want to do in this patient?
sir, thyroid profile we definitely need it. Serum lithium levels also we can ask for. Routines we sir. Okay. His glucose is 480, which is high, sir. Then LFT within normal limits. CPK is 34. Then LDH is 211. His TSH is 0.30. D-dimer is elevated with 632. Ferritin also elevated 403. HbA1c is 14.3, which is very much uncontrolled.
So far, what's your impression?
So far, one thing is sugars are uncontrolled, sir. So definitely we should consider the possibility of DKA, especially that volume loss and all we found on the general examination. And then because of the COVID, the D-dimer must be elevated, sir.
That's right. That's right. Good.
Then sodium is 137, potassium 3.5 normal. Urea is 4.1, urea is 41, which is high, could be like the pre-renal component. Creatinine is 1.2. Uric acid, again it is 12 elevated. This is again telling us there is underlying dehydration.
Okay. What's the importance of uric acid in when you look at COVID patients?
Uric acid and COVID, not sure, sir.
A low uric acid level is found to be closely associated with increased risk for COVID death.
Okay, sir.
A lot of studies available. So it is
Oh,
a prognostic marker actually.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So in an ordinary patient with the COVID, if you get low, you are very alert. Okay, but may not be applicable in this patient because there are a lot of other things going on in this patient.
Okay, sir.
But still, it's not bad.
And his hemoglobin is 13.5. Total counts are on the higher side, 13,000, with neutrophils of 91 and lymphocytes of 6.8. Then platelets were 4.69 lakhs, normal limits. CSR is elevated 90. MCV, MCH, MCHC seem to be within normal limits, sir. Then,
What does this leukocytosis indicate to you?
sir, usually COVID, uh, uh, like neutrophil to lymphocyte ratio will be elevated. If it's more than 3.5, like it will be more severe COVID.
Okay, so what do you think about this patient?
Uh, this patient, it will be more than 3.5 only. So it is severe only.
Okay. What do you expect to find
Leukopenia.
in case of leukocytosis? Are there any metabolic causes for leukocytosis?
Definitely, sir. Like when patient is on steroids, there could be leukocytosis, sir.
Any other metabolic cause?
Uh, leukocytosis.
Diabetic ketoacidosis is a very common.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Then urine, specific gravity pH, albuminuria is there, sir. Urine sugars is 4 plus, then acetone, the urine ketones is positive 3 plus, and urine RBC 1 per high power field, and WBC also 1, which is insignificant. So, yeah. Then ABG is showing pH 7.09, that is, there is acidosis. With bicarbonate 9.6, it is low, so this is metabolic acidosis. Then yes, it's with anion gap of sir, it's 12.8, sir. Here it's more, so it is high anion gap, metabolic acidosis. Here with the sugars on the higher end, we should consider diabetic ketoacidosis, sir.
What are other causes of
High anion gap.
metabolic acidosis?
So lactic acidosis, starvation ketosis, then uremic uremia, like acute renal failure causing uremic acidosis, then ethylene glycol, salicylic poisoning.
So there is metabolic acidosis.
Yes, sir.
And this patient underwent treatment for diabetic ketoacidosis.
Okay, sir.
Protocol. And
Okay, sir.
the lower part glucose level,
Okay, sir.
they
8. Okay, sir.
So what do you think?
Uh,
It's getting under control.
yes, sir, it's controlled.
And what happened to sodium, potassium?
Sodium is increasing, sir. Then potassium is decreasing.
Urine output?
Urine output is also like very urine output is more only, sir. There is dehydration. Still, the dehydration is not corrected.
So dehydration was getting corrected. Glucose was getting corrected. But
yes,
patient was passing urine.
Yes, sir. Yes.
In dehydration, you expect the urine to be.
No, sir. No. Here, he's passing lot of urine. Polyuria is there.
What do you think?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay. This X-ray test, portable though.
Along with the symptoms, he had complaints of polyuria. COVID-19 decade. Provisional COVID-19 category B male, diabetic ketoacidosis, dyslipidemia. Management, DKA managed with insulin infusion, IV fluids as per the protocol, and later on as sugars were controlled, fixed dose of insulin. No improvement in orientation, GCS. Sodium levels showed serial elevation. Patient started on free water in view of hypernatremia.
Water lithium levels just come like this.
1.3. Okay, sir. Normal is 0.8 to 1.2. It is not very much elevated, only borderline elevation only, sir.
If you want to say lithium toxicity, it must be approximately 1.5.
Okay, sir.
So it's not lithium toxicity.
They're not. Okay, sir.
Normal.
Okay, sir. GCS improved to E4, V5, M6. Sodium, latest value after correction is 141. Fine polyuria. Sir, urine output more than 4 liters in 24 hours.
The 3 liters is
3 liters.
teaching.
Okay, sir.
Of 3 liters. So, what are the possible causes?
For polyuria, sir.
That's right.
Sir, one is osmotic diuresis we should think of, like
Like
glucose, glucose glycosuria. Then hypercalcemia can produce it. Then lithium itself, it can cause the drug-induced diabetes insipidus, the peripheral cause. Then central cause of diabetes insipidus we can think of, sir. Osmotic diuresis.
okay. So you said that almost all causes.
Yes.
And what are the cause of hypernatremia?
Causes of hypernatremia.
Problems in this video, hypernatremia with the polyuria.
Diabetes insipidus, sir.
Okay, right.
Then hypovolemic renal sodium losses, diuretic therapy, glycosuria, gastrointestinal sodium losses, colonic diarrhea, skin sodium losses, excessive sweating, euvolemic states.
Polyuria causes.
Okay, sir.
Polyuria with hypernatremia.
Hypovolemia with hypernatremia. Okay, sir.
Polyuria states.
Oh, okay, sir.
That is diabetes insipidus. Hypervolemia. You have many other causes like anterior parallel feeding, diabetes, short administration.
Okay, sir.
So, in conclusion, diabetes insipidus, as you rightly said.
Okay, sir.
What is diabetes insipidus?
A disorder of the posterior lobe of pituitary gland characterized by deficiency of antidiuretic hormone, characterized by polydipsia and large volumes of dilute urine. Types are central diabetes insipidus and nephrogenic diabetes insipidus. Causes of the nephrogenic diabetes insipidus acquired. Lithium itself can cause it, sir. Drugs.
Very good, very good. Okay. Lithium, nematocyte, cisplatin,
renal tubular acidosis. Okay, sir.
Carnet, aminoglycosides.
Yes, sir.
Metabolic causes.
Hypercalcemia, hypokalemia.
Said already hypercalcemia.
Yes, sir.
Produces diabetes insipidus, thereby producing polyuria. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Vascular sickle cell anemia. Then, so is it acute and chronic tubular necrosis?
Okay.
And then granulomas like sarcoidosis, neoplasm sarcoma, infiltration amyloidosis.
Are there any genetic causes?
Nephrogenic diabetes insipidus.
Or central diabetes insipidus? Any causes? Can you tell?
Craniopharyngioma can cause it, sir.
What is Wolfram syndrome?
What, sir? I didn't get it.
Wolfram.
Not sure, sir.
FRA.
No, sir.
Diabetes insipidus, diabetes mellitus, deafness, optic atrophy.
Okay, sir.
Autosomal recessive type of transmission.
Okay, sir.
In nephrotic diabetes insipidus, there are different varieties. X-linked recessive, autosomal recessive, autosomal dominant, and so on.
Okay, sir.
So, what is nephrogenic diabetes insipidus?
Sir, here the ADH is released, but at the its action at the receptors, that the V2 receptors, it's not happening, sir.
What are signs and symptoms
of diabetes insipidus, sir? Polyuria, then polydipsia, then they can have altered sensorium also.
Dehydration.
Yes, sir.
Anorexia. So, yes. How does lithium produces diabetes insipidus?
It causes inactivation of adenylyl cyclase, then inhibits translocation of the cytoplasmic urinary aquaporin, hypoosmotic fluid to medullary duct polyuria.
So, what are the common problems with lithium?
Sir,
get diabetes insipidus?
Yes, sir. Then it can cause tremors, sir.
How often diabetes insipidus?
What, sir?
How often?
How often?
20%.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. 20%. Then that can cause tremors. Then leukocytosis it can cause, sir.
Yes, that's right.
Then teratogenicity it can cause, I think, is Epstein's anomaly.
Any neurological problems?
Neurological, sir.
Diarrhea is one for GIT, and the neurological is the tremor.
Tremor, yes, sir.
G symptom very common. They come with diarrhea.
Diarrhea, okay, sir. GI, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Cardiac is arrhythmias.
Agitation, post tremor.
Okay, sir. Fasciculations.
Lithium
Okay,
toxic very common, 20%.
Okay, sir.
Must be always available.
Okay, sir.
Proper drug history taking is important. That will be the clue to the diagnosis.
Okay, sir.
Long-term problems.
Lithium long, sir, it can cause this axonal neuropathy.
Can produce thyroid problem.
Yes, sir. Lithium causes hypothyroidism.
That's good. That's good. Okay. So
So long term, it causes syndrome of irreversible lithium effectuated neurotoxicity,
silent
cerebral
syndrome, no? Silent syndrome.
silence syndrome. Okay, sir.
Syndrome.
Okay, sir.
Lithium.
Okay, sir.
Neurotoxicity.
Okay, sir. Then cerebellar dysfunction, extrapyramidal symptoms, dementia, brainstem dysfunction. Chronic neurologic and cardiac as said above, renal nephrogenic diabetes insipidus, hypernatremia.
So what will be your final diagnosis in this case?
So, long term. Sir, he's bipolar disorder and he's been on long term lithium. So, we should think of lithium induced nephrogenic diabetes insipidus.
Diabetic ketoacidosis.
Okay, sir.
First time he was diagnosed with diabetic ketoacidosis.
Yes, sir.
And superadded with that he had lithium toxicity.
Oh, superadded. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. And in between he came category
COVID.
category. COVID.
Okay, sir.
COVID is the precipitating factor.
Okay, sir.
We brought out the ketoacidosis.
Okay, sir.
With that came lithium problem. So it's a combination of three.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
It was not easy diagnosis for us.
What, sir?
It was not an easy diagnosis for us.
Okay, sir.
Because you are not a non-diabetic.
Yes, sir. Not a non-diabetic. First time.
So we stuck. But the value of glucose was very high and ketoacidosis.
Yes, sir.
Not managing, but then she was not able.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Try to connect it with the lithium and it
okay, sir.
So.
Okay, sir.
And you want to ask any questions, you can ask.
Lithium-induced diabetes insipidus.
How many cases do you see to diabetes?
So, diabetic ketoacidosis, I've seen many patients, but lithium-induced diabetes insipidus, not many, sir. I think diabetes insipidus only one patient I've seen, maybe.
Okay. A good discussion from your side. You've done extremely well. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Want to ask any questions, you can ask.
Sir, even if lithium levels are within normal limits, can this happen, sir, or is it like only 1.3 only?
Oh. And the patient was not waiting for any monitoring. It was poor compliance.
Okay, sir.
In fact, they checked the lithium and nothing was done.
Okay, sir.
So nobody was monitoring.
Okay, sir.
So they had this much hypernatremia in spite of correction of diabetic ketoacidosis.
Okay, sir.
This much polyuria, definitely something is wrong in that direction.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I think you had made a very good diagnosis in this case. I should congratulate you.
Thank you, sir.
Well
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tadasi.
Thank you, sir.